guys, how y'all doing? David here, and this video is a little different. All right, so like the title says, Outwitting the Devil book review. All right, so Outwitting the Devil. All right, in this book, this is the author by Napoleon Hill, and I first read the book, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, and some of the people that stood out to me that have read this book is Mike Tyson, Waka Flocka, Chris Jones, Pump Chasers, me of course, and even my girlfriend Lauren. We listened to it in the audiobook. So if someone would have asked me or told me to read a book in my younger 20s, I'd be like, man, get the shit out of my face. But you know, I turned 30 this month, and I have to say that, you know, I literally did outwit the devil, and I showed y'all my inner darkness video, and I really went through that shit. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that I came out of that is I read books now. And, you know, I listen to audiobooks as well. So I'm not telling you to read a book, but I am telling you that it has helped me personally. So I'm just suggesting to you that, you know, you should read books or listen to an audiobook. And some of the things that I'm going to talk about in this book is going to go back into my previous video, but also I'm going to see if I go more into depth, because I ain't gonna lie, the devil had me. He had me. I was restrained. I couldn't move, but I was able to come out of that. You know what I'm saying? So for the book review. All right, so basically in this book, people, how he controls you, you know, whatever you believe in, the devil or negative energy or lower vibration, things that, you know, frequencies, things of that nature, anything that's gonna make you negative. Okay, so to me, I will say that the devil had me. So these are some things that in the book, it tells you that the devil, this is how the devil controls you. Okay, so first, the devil controls you through fear, criticism, poverty, greed, lust, anger, and laziness. Okay, so let me touch up on those things. He discourages you for you not to think for yourself. All right, and a lot of things that when I was in a dark place, I would cope with myself mentally, so I wouldn't think for the things that I was going through. I would use alcohol and tobacco. When Friday came or whatever, I was like, man, I'm gonna drink a beer. I don't even know why I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? And even tobacco, I would get a e-cig, tobacco flavored, and I've never bought cigarettes, but for a time being, during the beginning of the year, I was buying e-cigs all the time, and I was going through them daily, and I was just like, why am I doing this? Why am I buying these? And I couldn't even give you an answer of why I was doing those things. And basically the devil had me to where I wasn't thinking for myself to stop those bad habits. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here's a quote that's in the book that I wrote down. Okay, those who do no little or no thinking for themselves are drifters. All right, so what I mean by that is, if those things that I said, fear of poverty, criticism, you know, fear of death, greed, lust, all those things, it makes you're a drifter. Okay, what I mean by that is, in the book, he basically says that if you use all those things, you literally can't even think for yourself. And this is you have no purpose. You know what I'm saying? So this is where this book really baffled my mind. Okay, all right, so one thing that really stood out in this book and really baffled my mind and really blew my mind is that when Napoleon Hill wrote this book, he literally interviewed the devil, and he was literally asking him questions of how he gets people, you know, how to not think for themselves, what he uses, what is his mastermind to control people. And the craziest thing that I came across of was he uses parents, school teachers, and religious instructors. So now let me give an example of that was in the book that really stood out to me and makes sense. All right, so how many times have you been around a parent that finishes his children's, or he or she finishes the children's sentence? Or even an example was say there's a science project, and then the parent does all the homework for them. So in the book, it explains how the kid feels like, well, my parents are gonna do it. Why am I gonna do it? You know, they don't have no encouragement to do anything, and it destroys self-confidence, and pretty much kids learn not to think for themselves. So I know people that don't even know how to cook for themselves. Grown men don't know how to cook for themselves, don't even know how to really wash clothes. And why? Because their mom did it for them, or they didn't know how to. Basically, their parent did things for them. And that's just an example that I wanted to use, because if your parents, he basically said that he controls your parents, so that he's going to control you, and he's instilling those values to you. That's why I honestly don't think that racism is a taught habit. We aren't born to hate people. Where do we get that from our parents, or school teachers, or things like that? And let me go deep into school teachers, because I am an educator. First and foremost, I will say, I've already said that the school system's corrupt. So what I mean by that is, we pretty much tell kids that, oh, if you don't go to college, you're not gonna be successful. I've never said it, but I've heard it, and I heard it when I was younger too. So we don't ever ask kids, what drives you? What's your passion? What do you enjoy doing? We basically have kids from Texas that we have to have them pass tests just so they can go to the next grade. And sometimes they don't even pass grade. They're just moving forward and keep on going throughout the years, and they don't even learn the concepts of the past ones. And basically, as school teachers, there's so many negative teachers that I've been around in the education system, and they hate their life. They just go there for a paycheck instead of trying to change these kids' lives and stuff. And I'm not gonna go into religion instructions, but I will just say, oh, if you do this, you're going to hell. So pretty much the devil is putting the fear into young children. He says that he likes to get them young, and if he can control them at a young age, then he has them for the rest of their lives. So that really blew my mind. All right, so this is a book review, and I don't want to go on too further, so I had to continue and just keep it short, okay? So some of the things that also really touch base to me is, if the devil has you, you might be able to be in gambling. You are a drifter. You have a job, go occupation 9 to 5. You have no passion, no drive. You're pretty just going through the motions of your life, and by the time you're 30 something, and I'm 30, and I reached to a point where I was like, what? I'm done. But I was able to come out of that, and I now have a purpose, and I know what I have to do, and I feel like this is a new chapter. I feel like I resurrected, and this is my whole new life. So I would say that if the devil has you, you more likely have a big ego. You have a poor diet and bad habits. You don't eat the right foods, and it makes sense. If a person eats unhealthy, is chasing women, overly indulgent in trying to seek sex, that's something else that back in the inner darkness, the woman was my downfall. And what I mean is that I would waste too much time trying to chase women when I couldn't be alone, or I just did it just because. And it literally will overtake my time and energy. I would be up at 2, 3 in the morning, swipe, dating app, swipe. Hey, come over, what are you doing? Blah, blah. And I can admit that because I'm trying to be real with y'all, because the devil really had me, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't value women. I just saw them as a physical being, as a piece of meat, sadly to say. And I really didn't care what they were going through, how their day went. I just wanted to boom, 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 out. And that's what men think and do, you know what I'm saying? They just worry about themselves. So he makes you overly indulge into that feeling of trying to just seek that out every single time, where you're not even in control. You know what I'm saying? That's why I practice celibacy, and I've been so disciplined with myself to where I fasted for 48 hours just to see, how far I could push it. My mental capacity of doing those things. So I highly suggest that you read this book, but let me tell you how it played a big role on me, and just to give you a review. All right, so like I said, self-discipline. I practiced celibacy, and I ate the right foods. I meditated, and I got one in with myself very strong, potently, and I could not be disrupted. I can't be disrupted right now. Like I no ego, you know what I'm saying? And the adversity that I faced throughout those times, I can't even remember how long it was, but I don't know, it was fucking dark times. Okay, and I even explained it in my Inner Darkness video where like I was swimming and boom, but just I was in a fire and in the ocean, everything was just boom. And once I got to shore, I don't know where this sword came from, but I pulled that sword back and I was in there swinging, woof, woof, cutting off my demon's head, woof, woof. And I was just like, just fighting for my life, woof, woof, you know what I'm saying? And once I slayed on them motherfuckers, Lauren would get upset with me if I keep on saying motherfuckers. But anyway, I was in there, boom, slayed on them motherfuckers, and I'm getting overwhelmed breathing because this shit was a dark time for me. And once I outwitted the devil, the adversity that I gone through, it changed my thoughts on life. Okay? And it helped me with my self-discipline. So I highly suggest that you read this book, because there's a lot of things that not even men just go through this, women go through this, you know, that of not understanding things, and they're just lost. And if you really truly want to find yourself, then this book can help, because I'm living proof of that I outwitted the devil. So the last thing that I'm gonna top off this, which is really great in this book. All right, so if I can teach y'all through this book that if you can think for yourself, if you're not controlled by drugs, greed, money, sex, alcohol, anything that makes you lose yourself, you know what I'm saying? Being with Lauren, being with a partner, I call it a spiritual couple, a spiritual marriage, because look, I wear this, we're not even engaged, but I wear it because I'm practicing in my mind that one day I will marry this woman. And if I would have the same mentality of the beginning of the year, then I wouldn't be taking her serious. I would be being a dog. And this to me is to me. I did this for me. I didn't do it for her. I did it for me, because I look at that motherfucker, and Lauren's a beautiful woman. She has a 4.5-year-old daughter. I'm just like, if I fuck up, it is not even worth that little burst of a release that I'm gonna do with another person that doesn't even mean nothing to me, doesn't even do nothing for me, and I'm ruining it all in just that moment. And I have this beautiful woman and daughter, and I see my family, and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard as a man, and I get pulled sometimes where I'm thinking, what if, blah, blah, and I'm just like, it's not even worth it. So this is for my practice of self-discipline. That's why I do it. So now let me go more into depth. If the devil can't control one person, two minds together can't be disrupted at all. And I honestly say that me and Lauren are a superior couple, and that's where we truly are mentally. And it's a beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful thing, because I've learned that her feminine divine energy is my power. Like she ignites me, and I'm built from darkness. The evil shit that I've slayed and seen and done, I'm built from that. But in duality, she's my opposite, and she's my pureness. She's in my perfect harmony. We're perfect harmony. So that's all I have to say for this book. This book changed my life, and I truly suggest for you to watch it. And I hope that you like this book review, because in this book, it would tell you some of the things that people truly face, the evilness. And I faced those demons and darkness and the devil. I faced that motherfucker up. He can't fuck with me right now. He cannot fuck with me. And I've learned to master myself. through the discipline, through the foods that I eat, through the energy, the love that I give Lauren, the meditations, the goals that I have for myself. And that all came from self-discipline and mastering myself and loving myself and forgiving myself for all the bad things that I used to be. So I hope that this was very, very informative for y'all, because this is me. I'm always be real, and this is something I want to put out for just people that listen. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all appreciate it. Outwitting the Devil book review. Your boy D.I. Child. Peace. Thanks for watching.